Yes, you know what it is. You know the time. Boston has entered the chat.
Yeah.
I'm George Balecki. He's Travis Thomas. We're coming to you guys from the PNC Bank studio. We got a full show for you guys. We'll go through what's trending. We'll take a look at Patriots joint practices with the Eagles and what we want to see go down at Gillette. We talk some baseball in the Olympics in 2028, put together our dream team, USA.
Ooh.
And we say forget it for the Olympics or Major League Baseball's rules. NBA opening day schedules out as well. Celtics hosting the Knicks. And we go to Ask the Chat as well.
Ooh.
This is the chat. Make sure to call in if you want. 617-790-0928. Leave us a voicemail. Email us, thechat@nessa.com. Please like, subscribe, rate, and review. Trav, how we doing today, bro?
I'm doing good. You know what's crazy, bro? I was just thinking about this. Like, baseball is going to be in the Olympics, which is cool and feels long overdue to me. But why is breakdancing in the Olympics and baseball isn't? It just doesn't make any sense.
You see the Japanese
I did see that
number?
Yes.
I don't even know what you call it. That's
the number,
that's athletic.
The routine.
The routine. That's athletic, bro.
It is. I'm not saying they're not athletic, but like we have breakdancing in the Olympics and we don't have baseball yet.
So baseball was in the Olympics, then out, then got back in for Tokyo, then was taken out.
Why was it out?
And instead of just flipping the switch and going, you guys are back in, it's a BS red tape, bro. It's the Olympics. Any international sporting committee sucks. They're all corrupt. They all suck. The FIA sucks. The IOC, right?
They suck.
International Olympic Committee, they suck. FIFA sucks. They all suck. It's greedy. It's doing all this BS red tape. And then let people like the Australians get in, the Australian breakdancer.
Oh.
Or you have single kayaking at the Olympics.
Right.
You know how much I hate that sport. The canoe races is cool. Or no, canoeing I hate. Kayaking.
No, you don't like canoeing.
I don't know. It's one or the other.
It's canoe. You hated canoeing. It's just, I don't get it. Some of this stuff should not be in the Olympics. Let's just be honest about it. But we'll get there later. I'm sorry.
No softball or baseball in the Olympics doesn't make sense. But again, just a quick review. IOC sucks.
Okay.
FIFA sucks.
All right.
FIA, Federation of
What about
International.
them?
They suck.
Okay,
FIA
got it.
sucks.
I think we're covered.
That's a Formula One International Association or some stuff like that. I don't know. They suck.
They stink.
I don't care what it stands for. We're 2.5 minutes in. I said sucks like three
You
different
did.
times. Let's get into what's trending. Did you do a gender reveal when you had your two kids?
Oh, yeah.
What did you guys do for the gender reveal?
Well,
I'm anti-gender reveal, by the way.
Wait, why?
I don't know.
Okay, let's slow down. Let's backtrack. Gender reveal meaning like you have a party and then you set something on fire and depending on the smoke or whatever.
I think
you mean like that, or you pop a balloon and the dye comes out?
I think it depends on what the gender reveal is. Let me hear what yours is.
Okay, so I didn't do all that. I just had, my wife and I basically decided we didn't want to know, but our doctor like emailed us the results. And they were like, if you don't want to know, no big deal, but it's a protocol. We have to send this. So a lot of couples who want to be surprised won't look at it. So we're like, all right, cool. And we just couldn't help ourselves. So, of course, my wife was the first one because it came to her inbox. She opened it. She's like, I know the gender. And I was like, don't tell me. And then like an hour later, I had to know. I was like, tell me. She's like, you sure? I was like, yeah, what's the point? If we're not going to be surprised together, one of us, you know, like that doesn't make sense. Tell me. She says, it's a, and before she got the rest of boy out, all I heard was a B.
Yeah.
It's a, I took off. I ran out. At the time we lived in like a condo apartment building. I ran down the hallway screaming it's a boy, went down the stairs to the next floor, ran through that hallway screaming it's a boy, went down the next floor. Notice I didn't go up. Went all down the stairs. Ran through screaming it's a boy through the hallway. Then I got tired. Then I walked back up the stairs.
All right, I like that.
So it was a boy. And I celebrated like I won a Super Bowl. Super Bowl.
I'm anti the like balloon in the air, you shoot it down and bursts.
Nah, that's not cool. No disrespect to anyone who does that. If you're into that,
whatever you're
good for
into.
you. But that wasn't for me.
Not for me.
Absolutely not.
I'm big into the revealing that someone's pregnant. I think that's funny.
Oh.
And that's fun. You know, surprise a family letting them know.
Yeah.
My sister did the whole thing. They got everyone together to pose for a photo.
Right.
It was like 1, 2, 3, blank's pregnant. And then my mom was just like, it took her 10 minutes to realize it.
Yeah, it took me a while. She gave me something around Christmas that was like, we're getting another gift under the tree or something. It was like a sonogram. And I was like, what is this?
Like golf clubs?
She was like, are you dumb? I said, maybe. What is this?
The answer is yes.
Yeah, right? And she says, I'm pregnant, idiot. And I go, ah!
And then you found out it was a boy.
Yeah.
Let's pull this up because this is a gender reveal. Future dad finds out he's having a boy. And then look what he did. NFL reposting this. They did the cake thing. I like this because it's cake. It's dessert.
Look at him.
I don't know what any of this is.
Yeah, these drills are not solid. Listen, but it's not too late for him. My son is more athletic than I was.
Was this guy like a left tackle in his past life? Or like,
not a good one.
Young. Yeah.
Not a good one.
Yeah. And you get blown unless he lost a lot of weight.
Look at this.
Yeah, it's not good.
Yeah, it's not good. Now the spirit is there.
But
like the effort's
he went like
there.
hands like a left tackle, but then his feet were like he was a right. Yeah, I'm done.
It's probably intramural flag football guy.
I think this celebration's corny. Like you don't got to do all that.
Hey man,
they're getting up and running. That's like authentic. This one is like, this is predetermined. It's a boy. I'm gonna do some football drills.
I gotta tell you, man, that news of it's a boy, it hits hard,
and
you just don't know what you're gonna do. Now I was happy too with my daughter. I don't want to, I'm a proud girl dad. I don't want to disrespect any daughters of the world, but it was my first child. So if it was a daughter, I imagine I would have responded the same way. But just hearing it's a boy for my first kid was just, I don't know if I've ever felt that kind of joy, except for when they show up. When they show up, they're healthy.
Yeah.
You hear them cry the first time. You put eyes on them. That's a whole different level. But I'll never forget like the joy I felt finding out I was having a boy for my first kid.
I'm an uncle for the first time.
Let's go.
Little Luca's like 8 weeks, 9 weeks old.
Shout outs to Luca.
Yeah, I met him when he was like a little peanut thing.
Yeah.
We spoke about this. I'll be seeing him later this week.
Yeah.
He's actually like his eyes are open.
Yep.
And he can at least like move his head and do something. So I'm excited for that. So I can't imagine.
I love it.
That
man.
excitement.
Congratulations, bro.
Appreciate it. All right, let's get on to next. What's in trending? Peyton Pritchard got married. And his officiant, which I think was a brilliant pick on his part.
Yeah.
Former Celtic teammate Blake Griffin.
Oh, that's smooth. I like
so there was
it.
some footage we saw. The one thing I'd give Peyton Pritchard, and this is from someone that's officiated weddings, and this is someone like Peyton that faces height deficiency, although Peyton's an NBA player. He's taller than me. Tough when you go someone as tall as Blake Griffin. No matter what, you're going to look short. But to picking Blake Griffin, one of the funniest dudes whenever you listen to his interviews, one of the most outgoing guys in the NBA, on top of being at his peak, one of the best players in the league as well.
Sure.
I think that's a great point. You got to go someone with personality, someone that can make it fun, but also someone that would make it personal and make it special for the bride and groom.
Yeah, no doubt. Now, I want to talk to you because much like the first What's Trending, I have experience with being a dad. You have experience in this world. I have not been a wedding officiant. You have. What's that like?
It was good. I was a best man before I was a wedding officiant.
Okay.
And so I got that big public presentation. I know what we do, but it's behind cameras. You know, the audience isn't there.
Right.
And even if an audience is there, when you don't know who they are, it makes it easier than when you know who they are.
Sure.
Right. But so just like the couple I was the best man for, it's one of my best friends, Mike, and I knew his wife before he knew her.
Oh, wow.
We all grew up through middle school together.
Yeah.
The couple that I officiated for, it was one of my best friends, Erin, who I worked at my first news station in Joplin, Missouri.
Yeah.
And I was there the night she met her now husband, Gannon.
Wow.
So when they asked me, they were like, now if you don't want to, I'm like, hell yeah, I'm honored.
Yeah, for sure.
I think that's cool. It's honored. It's humbling. And it's just like anything else, doing your research, interviewing them in a way. Like I FaceTimed them, asked them a bunch of questions. I sent them a questionnaire. They sent it back. And it's just writing, ripping it up, writing, ripping it up. And like anything else, what I say too is I've seen bad officiants and I've seen good officiants.
What makes a bad one?
Bad one is just like way too long-winded.
Okay.
Writing isn't there.
Right.
It's about presentation.
It's like you're winging it almost?
Letting it breathe. Yeah, in a way. Or just like, we know how to flip the switch and like put it on.
Sure.
Have to do that. And then there's the little things of like making sure you hold the mic close to the bride and groom when they're reading their vows, telling them everyone to stand up, sit down, certain points, saying, and now I present. Like there's all those things.
So are we heading down a path for you of being an ordained minister?
I'm going to look into doing that because I found out my buddy, one of my friends at his wedding, like paid someone to be an ordained minister. And I was like, wait, hold on. How? You can do what? And the way I look at it, if there's like a 3 o'clock ceremony and then a 6 o'clock ceremony on a Friday or Saturday.
Double up.
Yeah, what is that? It's like $400 or $500 I didn't have in the past. Like, why not?
I don't dislike it.
So it's funny. I've like recently, I was like, hey, send me the questionnaire he sent you.
Yeah.
I'm going to apply for it. It's fun doing that though. And I think what was good when I was the best man and when I was the officiant, it was easy because I knew the bride and groom very well.
Right.
And I would confidently say this. Neither marriage was like should they be getting married?
Sure.
Because everyone's been in one of those.
Yeah.
So
well, I know you. I know you well. I feel like you could be an ordained minister, no problem. Me, on the other hand, I just don't think I'd pass a background check. I feel as though I would go to get my training and my certificate. I would touch some sort of holy water. It would start bubbling. I feel like
this man done?
Yeah, I feel like because it's you, I know you could pass out with flying colors and make it happen. So I'm wishing you luck, my friend.
This is when I wish my parents spoke Arabic and French with me growing up because they speak both fluent.
Woo.
I could be a triple threat.
You really could.
I could do a French wedding, Arabic wedding, English wedding.
You didn't learn either one?
No, bro. I'm the youngest of three. By the time my parents got home from work, they're like, we're saying things once, we're saying it in English, and that's it.
So your siblings know and you don't?
No. We all understand Armenian and Arabic. None of us speak it, though.
All right.
Yeah.
At least you didn't get the short end of that stick.
Yeah, at least I understand it. Oh, yeah, if I was the only one that didn't know it, I'd be irate, bro. I'd be irate. All right, lastly, 49ers canceled joint practices with the Saints because they don't have enough healthy players.
Man.
Now, this was a mutual decision between the Saints and Niners. The last Niners practice before this decision made, they had 23 players unable to practice. CMC dealing with a hamstring. Ricky Pearsall dealing with a shoulder injury. Obviously, Brandon Ayuk could be out of there any moment.
Yeah.
I think it's smart. You don't have the guys healthy. You don't have the horses. Joint practices, you do that for the level of competition and expose it to guys outside of your camp. But it's a less controlled environment. I think it's smart on the Niners. The one thing is, should 49ers fans be worried?
Yes.
I'd say yes, but it's all about what's the level of these injuries. And there is Justin Herbert's dealing with plantar fasciitis in his foot. He's going to be in a boot for 2 weeks. That's smart to me. Don't worry about that because it's don't aggravate it now in the summer. It can only get worse. And then he's all banged up all regular season. You just want this team to get right by November to hit their stride.
I still can't get over, bro, coming off the sideline in the Super Bowl after halftime and blowing his gasket. That was I'll never get over it. I just can't imagine that for him. He was having a good first half too. Look, they should be concerned. If I'm a 49er fan, I'm concerned because that's why you haven't been able to capture a damn Lombardi for Lord knows how long now. You're always banged up at the worst times. And now for a joint practice, you're not even healthy enough to get that done. And I know they say it's mutual, but it seems like everything I read and everything we're hearing, it's coming from the 49ers side of things. Plus, this time of year, your roster should be filled with guys who are going to get cut any damn ways. I mean, play them. What the hell's the problem? But if guys are banged up, I would just be concerned because what is this, August? And you can't even get through a joint practice? Mm-hmm. What does that say for January? Not good.
But it's not January, so.
It's not.
And to the effect of you should do it anyway, but do you want Brock Purdy behind a patchwork offensive line?
No, I would just play all the guys who, probably won't make the team anyway and give them reps.
It gives you a fair assessment, two of them, really. Are you going against the Saints?
Yeah, exactly.
It's an extra preseason game, essentially. Right. But I don't blame them. At that point, they're like, we need to dial it back. We need to focus on recovery and just get these guys
It's ready. Also good, too, George, because this league, it's such a hypocrisy where they say, well, it's player safety first. And then every time you look up, they're adding regular season games or adding this. You're going to play on Thursday and Wednesday and Tuesday. And
Black Friday.
Black Friday.
They're going to play Monday.
That's what I mean.
Every day.
Every day. So
Wild card Saturdays.
I look at this as this particular story is putting player safety first. It's about damn time.
And it's a call on the Niners, though. It's not the call in the NFL. If it was the NFL's call, they'd make them do it.
That's a good point.
Don't forget, when DeMar Hamlin fell on that field and his heart stopped for a moment, the NFL actually thought about continuing the game.
It was a player or the coaches and the players that were like,
we're not doing this, which I don't good for them to take control of that.
Yeah, that's true.
I understand the NFL, that's never happened before. So everything was happening on the fly. It was Monday Night Football. It was a national game. So I understand the microscope it's under.
Sure.
But remember, the players went back out to warm up. We're told to do that. They were told to do that before. Hold on, just wait. We're trying to figure things out.
That's right.
Just give it a half hour. They were like, no, go warm up and get ready to play. Speaking of joint practices, Patriots, Tuesday.
Woo!
Joint practices against the Philadelphia Eagles. And you can say as bad as their season was last year, still a very talented team.
Yeah.
With a Vic Fangio-led defense coming in. You can guess what I want to see, but what are you hoping to see from these joint practices between the Eagles and the Patriots?
Drake ain't doing any damn thing.
Yeah.
That's what I want to see.
It's going to be a great test for him.
I want to see him in the joint practices. I want to see him in the preseason game. I want to see him. Drake May doing anything other than coming in for 5 seconds, check down Charlie, and then or handing it off and then being taken out of the game. Let's get him some reps in this joint practice. Let's get him some reps in the preseason game. Gerard Mayo says that that's going to happen, so let's see it. I want to see it all.
It should be a longer script in the preseason game against the Eagles for sure. One thing I want to see is Drake May against a Vic Fangio-led defense because he's one of the best defensive coordinators in the game. And as talented as his defense is, like I want Drake May going against the ones. I want him going against Kenyon Mitchell, who's this 22nd overall pick and one of the top cornerback prospects in this past draft. Keely Ringo on the other side. And how he can execute, what's the timing like, what's being on schedule, how he's communicating plays, what is he checking at the line? Because he's going against a really good secondary and the best pass rush in the NFL.
Yes.
Guys like Jordan Davis, Javon Carter, Bryce Huff, Nolan Smith. So it's going to be Drake May against a really good defense. And then, of course, the Patriots' offensive line, how they do against that front seven. How do they do in one-on-ones? How do they do in the front seven? And same thing with the skill guys and the dynamic playmakers for the Pats. Christian Gonzalez, year 2. How are you going to do covering A.J. Brown, who was the first receiver he saw as a rookie last season?
That's right.
How do you do against Devontae Smith? How do you do overall against this offense? The Patriots' defense has looked great all throughout training camp. In the first preseason game, there's no question about them. But how do they look against this Philly offense? I'll never forget. It was week 1 last year, Philadelphia in Foxborough playing at Gillette Stadium.
Yep, I remember.
Being around the Pats all offseason, where the media, where we hang out before we go on the field, you get the away team walking from their locker room onto the field. The Eagles rolled up, and you go, that's what an NFL team looks like.
No kidding.
Bigger than everyone on the Pats. I'm talking offensive linemen here. It was nuts. So that's what there's a sheer, the size, the athleticism, how talented this Philly team is.
Yeah.
Any gripes people have about Nick Sirianni, this is still a very talented roster, one of the best in the NFL. Best pass rush, one of the best secondaries, one of the highest graded coverage defenses in the NFL.
Saquon now.
So how does this new offense, I forgot about Saquon. How does this defense slow down Saquon Barkley, A.J. Brown, Devontae Smith, and Jalen Hurts?
Yeah.
With the Kellen Moore, with the Kellen Moore offense. I forget where he was at one point.
If you think about the insanity of a Philadelphia Eagles fandom, and then you look at this team on paper, if these Eagles underachieve like they did last season, and of course there's excuses galore for every team. You could say, well, there was injuries. Well, they didn't have Shane Steichen. Well, blah, 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 blah. Excuse. If this current team, the paper champions they are, underachieved this year and they go 8-9, 7-10, something like that, Sirianni's gone and it'll be riots in Philly, guaranteed. Because on paper, this team is ridiculous. Ridiculous. They should win the NFC East. They could win the NFC and get back to the Super Bowl, quite frankly. So if they come up short, Sirianni's going to get canned, and those fans are going to go insane. And then I would guess you would start questioning Jalen Hurts, too, even though he has a bag already.
That's what I was going to say. And Sirianni, of course, this offseason, all the rumors and reports coming out that him and Sirianni didn't see eye to eye.
Right.
The Eagles are stuck with Jalen Hurts. Stuck. I still think he's good. For the next 3 seasons, all the way through 2027.
Right.
If your head coach can't get along with the quarterback that is owed $41 million by 2027, the one that signed $110 million guaranteed, if the head coach can't get along with that quarterback, the head coach is gone.
Facts.
If you can't manage that.
Yeah.
And this is a spotlight on Nick Sirianni. Both your assistants from last year are gone. This is the 3rd straight season with a new offensive coordinator and a new defensive coordinator that you're starting, right?
That's right.
3 seasons, 3 different guys at those positions. How does Nick Sirianni do?
Yeah.
So I'm just excited to see the Pats, what they can do in practice, joint practices with pads on against them. I want to see what Drake May does. And it is, Trev, to be completely candid too, how does Jacoby Brissett and Alex Van Pelt and that offense look execution-wise when you go 11-on-11s with the Eagles?
Yeah, not just that. And you and I talked about this going into the Panthers game. It didn't come to fruition because they beat the hell out of the Panthers. I'm cool with it. Even though it doesn't count, it's just preseason. I love to see the Patriots win regardless. But I am hoping that now with the Eagles and the Commanders, maybe we'll get a close game or two. Because we talked about this before the Panthers preseason game. I want to see Gerard Mayo and that coaching staff sweating a little bit. And I get it's a preseason, but I want to see them manage clock, timeouts, play call late. What do you do? Hey, if it's a 4th and short and it's a preseason. Are you going to go for it? That'll tell me maybe he's a little more roll the dice type. Or is he a Belichick type? Nope, we're going to go out there, take the points, kick a field goal. So I want to see a lot of these things. We didn't get a chance to see that in the Panthers game. I'm hoping maybe we get a closer preseason game with the Eagles and the Commanders so we can get a look at that.
Yeah. All right, let's move on. And by the way, if you want to get more Patriots coverage, make sure to like, subscribe, listen. Foxborough Rush, wherever you get your podcast, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Prime, hosted by myself and Travis Thomas.
Yes, Lord.
We'll have a special edition episode dropping later this week on Friday. An AFC East preview of some beat reporters from across the division joining us to give us insight into the Dolphins, into the Bills, into the Jets. That's Foxborough Rush, wherever you get your podcast, and wherever you watch them too, Nesson's YouTube and Nesson on Twitch. So, as we talked about in the beginning, talking about how dumb it was baseball wasn't in the Olympics, it will be in 2028. Let's create our projected 10-man roster of this Olympic team. Now, I went through and I put a guy at each position, including my starting pitcher.
All right.
Let's get together and build this team.
I would like that. Because we're both American. We ain't trying to compete against each other. We're trying to build this together.
We want to build the best team possible. And by the way, I'm not going to do the dumb MLB rules where last time I was in the Olympics, MLB only allowed players on non-40-man rosters to be in the Olympics, and Major League Baseball teams can block eligible prospects.
No, we're not doing that. This is fantasy baseball we about to play.
So you want to start, we'll build our field and then pick our pitcher?
I'll go any way you want, bro.
Let's go pitcher first.
All right.
So
Paul Skeens.
Thank you.
I mean, come on. Let's not waste any time. Paul Skeens. Thank you very much.
I'm thinking Paul Skeens, and the rotations like Skeens, Tariq Skubal. We'll see how Corbin Burns looks.
I think you still got to have Garrett Cole, even though we don't like him.
Garrett Cole could be there.
You still got to have Cole.
If Tanner Houck keeps progressing the way he is too.
But our starter, no doubt about it,
Paul
Skeens.
Paul Skeens.
Done.
All right, let's go. Let's go catcher next. Let's go catcher next.
I like the kid in Baltimore. I don't know how you feel.
Adley Rushman?
Yeah, bro.
I went Rushman 2 on mine.
I like him.
I think that's a no doubt.
All right.
So we go Rush.
So we agree there.
And I know we're building a 10-man. But the backup is, and that's a guy we can see in the majors this year or next, Kyle Teal.
Yeah.
One of the top prospects in all of baseball, top catching prospect. I can see Kyle Teal as being the backup for Adley Rushman. All right, first base.
I mean, listen, that kid out in L.A. is pretty damn good. I like Freddie Freeman, but I'm willing to go anywhere. I know we have a DH. The first person that came to mind was Bryce Harper, but you could move him to DH.
But Freeman's going to be 38 in 2028. Bryce Harper will be 34, 35.
Yeah.
Maybe I was thinking.
Could go Harper and then get a different DH.
I would go Bryce Harper, I think, at first.
Okay.
Maybe you could go Matt Chapman. He'd still be young.
I like him.
Then Harper could be the DH. So what do you want to put?
Let's go Harper. Let's go Harper and then we could get a. Yeah, you can always get a DH. We can agree on a DH later. All right, so I'll move Bryce to first. I'm taking Bryce off my buddy list for DH now.
Second base?
I mean, how old is Simeon going to be out in Texas? I like him.
He is good right now. I didn't look at his
feel like he's young.
I wasn't thinking Simeon at all. He didn't make my roster. He could be a reserve or he could be a utility guy.
I'll go your guy.
I think second base, you go Gunnar Henderson.
Gunnar. It's a great name, too.
You go Gunnar Henderson.
Go Gunnar. I'm with you there.
Now, the middle infield is going to be hard, man. And
it is.
We'll get into it. Let's go.
Our team so far is sick with it, though.
Because at short, there's only one person that could be at shortstop.
Mookie.
No.
What?
Bobby Witt Jr.
Man, that's Mookie we talking about.
No, I'm going Bobby Witt.
Also, how old will Mookie be in 28?
Exactly.
See, I'm not taking that into account.
I'm going
just
2028.
Taking best player.
We're going Bobby Witt.
Bobby Witt will definitely be of age. Is Mookie getting older?
31?
I don't know.
He's 30. He might be 32.
Mookie in 2028 will be what? That's it.
He's 31. He turns, and his birthday's in October. So he's going to be 32 before this season ends. So 2028 Summer Games.
He's a little long in the tooth.
I don't want to do math. He's going to be 35, 36.
A little long in the tooth.
He could, again,
Bobby Witt.
I'll get into where I could see Mookie and a Freddie Freeman landing on this roster. But I want to go through our starters.
Reserves, right?
Exactly.
Yeah, that's fine.
With the veteran leaders in the
Bobby
dugout.
Witt. I'm down.
Okay.
We got to go third base.
This is where it gets fun. So Gunnar Henderson at second, Bobby Witt as short. Third base, this is where I can see your guy Simeon or Marcelo Mayer or Jackson Holiday.
I don't like any of those.
Third base would be a shortstop that you move to third.
You don't have to because I like Austin Riley. I want to see how old he is.
Oh, I didn't even think of Austin Riley.
Austin Riley can just play it, and he's natural at it. But I'm looking up his age. He's 27, so he'll be fine.
He'll be 31.
Austin Riley.
I could see that.
Boom.
Okay.
All right, so we'll
I
go
put
there.
as backup shortstop is Marcelo. I'm already
Deal.
putting backups in here.
No problem.
Because he could be in the majors by 2024, 2025. 3 major league seasons under his belt. If he goes how he's supposed to. All right, now let's get to the outfield.
I mean, outfield, I didn't do it by right, left, center. I just
went
picked
three
outfielders that I
outfielders.
like. Now, he might be too old, but the first
have
guy
to.
that came to mind was Aaron Judge.
Yeah. He could be the DH too.
Oh, he could be DH.
But yes, I like Aaron Judge in the outfield.
I don't hate him at DH, though. Should we have that combo?
Let's go DH because he'll be older.
Right?
And it's all about his bat. All right, Judge.
Let's go DH for Judge, and then now we can get some youngsters out there. And here's the names I had. I had Judge, but we're moving him to DH. I had Corbin Carroll, who I know is young.
Love that Corbin
and Kyle
Carroll call.
Tucker, who's young. So both of those guys.
Kyle Tucker. You
Yeah.
know who you're leaving off your boy for the Nats?
Who?
James Wood, man.
Yeah, I am leaving.
He's going to
him
be
off.
up in the bigs now. So I'll go Corbin Carroll for sure. I'll go
Okay.
James Wood.
Let me check Kyle Tucker's age. Yeah, he's
Because
27.
Carroll's young. He's 23. He'll be like 27 in 2028. How old's Kyle Tucker?
27.
Perfect.
He'll be money. We know he's clutch, too. Big moments. That's why I like him.
And then, again, looking at prospects and how they're coming up, I was thinking of Roman Anthony with the Sox. Outfield prospect. Of course, I'm more familiar with the Sox farm system than
course.
anyone else. So like
Respect.
So then we go reserves.
Yep.
So this is where we get the vets. Freeman,
Yeah, those are all the old guys.
Betts.
Yep.
Let's go Roman Anthony. Let's put some Boston bias in this. Where Boston
Fine.
has entered the chat after all.
No problem.
Marcelo.
Yep. It's a nice little squad. we
Teal.
got cooking.
Three Red Sox. Then even if you go through the rotation, I like this team.
I like it, too.
I understand what you're saying, who you thought for shortstop, but it's Bobby Witt.
We need a skipper, though.
Oh.
Now, it's
I didn't even think
interesting
of
because I'm looking, as we speak, I'm looking up, like, American skippers. Bruce Bochy, who's 100
Too
years
old,
old.
too old.
So we're not going to roll with him.
Well-
Kevin Cash, I'm not a big
No,
fan. Craig
no,
Counsell,
no.
not a big fan.
No.
AJ Hinch.
Possibly.
Um,
Cora's obviously going to represent
yeah,
his
Cora's
home
not
country.
going to. Right. I don't like Dave Roberts. I don't want him.
I don't think these are all young
I don't like
guys.
Aaron Boone.
Definitely not Boone.
I don't like any of these guys. Bob Melvin's old for the Giants. I don't like any of these guys.
Would you get a college head coach?
Oh.
Like just a college head coach? Like who knows how to manage?
We got Rocco Baldelli. But, nah.
Jay Johnson, 47 years old. He'll be 51. He's a head coach of LSU.
Done. We got Skeens. Anyway.
Yeah, like Jay Johnson. Like
Jay Johnson, come
coaching-
on in.
It would to me. It would have to be, I think, a college coach. Like you get the head.
Yeah.
I'm thinking of like the powerhouses: Arkansas,
Right.
Tennessee,
Right.
LSU.
Yep.
Right.
Yep.
I think it'd be something like that.
Jay Johnson from LSU, you're our skip.
All right. So one more. We're gonna go through this quick. So our starting pitcher, our ace, Paul Skeens.
Yes, Lord.
Start and catching behind for him, right behind the plate, Adley Rushman. Woo. First base, Bryce Harper.
Hoppa.
Second base, Gunnar Henderson.
Come on, Gunner.
At short, Bobby Witt. You don't got something for Bobby Witt?
He's witty.
Bobby Baseball, baby.
Oh, there we go.
Third base, Austin Riley.
Riles.
The outfield, Corbin Carroll.
Yes, Lord. CC.
James Wood, all 6'7" of them.
Tall as hell.
He's big, but he can move, baby. Kyle Tucker.
Tuck dog.
At DH, the Aaron Judge. All rise.
Oof.
Managed by Jay Johnson. And then the reserves, Freddie Freeman, Mookie Betts, Roman Anthony, Marcelo Mayer, Kyle Teal.
Gosh,
You're going to have a
man.
deeper bench than
Those
that.
reserves are ridiculous. Hey, we left off Mike Trout. Thoughts?
Dude, he's not going to be playing baseball in 2 years.
Yeah, he's a
sucks.
mess.
It'd be that sucks.
He's a mess.
He just can't get healthy. His body fell apart.
Like,
Yes.
are we in the
Yes.
territory now of him? He's like a what if in sports?
Because he was on pace to be the greatest baseball player of all time. Like the analytics showed it, the talent on the field, how he was hitting, what 5-tool player, tremendous defensively in the outfield. He did everything. And then his body just fell off and it was one injury after
And
the
he
next.
was lost out there
And-
in Anaheim. No one gives a rat's patootie
Dude,
about
I
the
think He liked me out there, which sucks.
He had a chance to take less money, come back home to Philly,
Which would have been sick.
and it was before they got Harper and all those guys. But obviously they were spending money, so they would have surrounded Trout with help too. Maybe you don't get Harper, but certainly you go and get some other player. Maybe they still get Trey Turner. Who knows?
His first 9 seasons, he won 3 MVPs. He was second in MVP voting 4 other times.
Oh. He's now a what if.
Rookie of the year. Yeah,
he's a trivia
total what
answer,
if.
right? He's like a trivia
It was
answer.
2019 was his last healthy season. He played 134 games, and from that point on, just everything caught up to him.
What a mess.
2020 was, COVID year, but still. 2021, 36 games. Yeah, it sucks. He's a total what if.
I tell you what, though, this team we put together, my goodness gracious, we win in gold. You know it, and the world knows it.
Who would, no, you know who the head coach would be, the manager?
Who?
Grady Sizemore.
Grady
Little nepotism at work
Sizemore.
somewhere in USA baseball.
I like this Jay Johnson guy. I don't know anything about him, but let's do it.
He coaches a college team. I don't know, man.
He coached Skeens.
Managed personalities and big rotations. I love this. Would they win gold, USA?
Hell yeah.
Right? I don't know.
Hell yeah.
I don't know what the rest of the world looks like.
I mean, you always got to think about DR.
Japan.
Of course.
World,
it's going to be some killers now.
Look at the World Baseball Classic.
Right,
You got to
yeah,
think of the
right.
DR. You got to think of Japan.
Facts.
Have to think of Mexico.
Same thing.
There you go.
You're right. So we'll have competition, but this team we got is ridiculous. We're going to win.
MLB, like I said, because when last was in the Olympics, they only allowed players not on 40-man rosters to participate, and teams can block eligible prospects.
That's dumb.
MLB needs to help itself.
Yes.
The 2028 games are in Los Angeles.
Yes.
You let your Major League Baseball players play.
Preach.
What would they do for those 3 weeks? I don't know, because if they suspend the season, delay it, give it a break in the middle of the season for 3 weeks, that means the World Series would be finishing up like late November.
Yeah.
But whatever, you figure it out. You figure it the F out.
Who's our outfielder that's like 6'7"?
James Wood.
Let's take him and Judge, and they can do double duty. They can also play basketball and help guard Wemby.
I think
because he's going to be a problem.
James Woods was a sick basketball player in
we
high
need
school
both.
too.
We need all the size America can
6'7".
get to go against Wemby.
go against
Just
Wemby.
go foul him.
As
give up
many
some
wing
fouls.
defenders.
Yeah, bro. Wemby's going to be a problem in 28, dog.
Cooper Flagg, he's 17. He's
not gonna
6'9".
work.
He's 6'9".
Too light
He's
in the
not done
ass.
growing.
He's too light in the ass.
He's not done growing.
He's too light in the ass.
The frame's there.
Unless he's eating steak and potatoes from now till 28, it's going to be a problem.
Bro, he's going to be on that Duke food plan. He'll be good.
No,
He'll be in the NBA a year after that.
That's the problem. That's the problem.
He's going to Duke.
He shouldn't be at Duke. Hit that transfer portal and then come holla at me, Cooper Flagg. Until then, I can't get down with you, bro.
He's going there. He ain't transferring. Hey, talking about NBA, talking about hoops. NBA put out their opening day schedule. I love this. Ring night for the Celtics, hosting the New York Knicks.
Ring night.
Top 2 teams in the East. One of the best rivalries when both teams are good. So we know we get Timberwolves, Lakers, and then we get the Knicks at the Celtics.
Why are we getting Timberwolves Lakers though?
Ant-Man against LeBron.
I want to see Lakers Nuggets because they can never beat them ever. Even give me Mavericks Thunder like we had in the Western Conference Finals, or give me something cool. Like I kind of get the Lakers, I guess, but I would just rather them play someone else. I'm not really that excited for that one.
Let's go like across a conference. Wemby against the Bucks. Wemby Giannis.
Wemby Giannis would be. I'd take Wemby Lakers because Wemby and Anthony Davis match up very well.
76ers
Nuggets. I understand the Lakers being in. I just want a different opponent.
Embiid Jokic. 76ers
that'd
against
cool.
the Nuggets. Paul George
cool.
as a Sixer.
I don't hate that.
I just love there's the excitement, and my initial reaction is, well, it's October, but it's opening night, it's ring night.
Yeah.
You know the Jays are going to be fired up. And then the Knicks, all the confidence they have in the world, Jalen Brunson's a dog. They invest in that team with the perimeter defenders they got. They brought back OG Anunoby. I think matchup-wise, that's going to be fantastic. I haven't seen if they put the lines up. I bet it's like 3.5, 4.5 for opening night. But it's good because that makes it excitement, and this type of matchup has your best players playing hard on opening night, which you might not always get.
Ring night, new look Knicks. They're going to come in here trying to spoil the party, of course.
Jason Tatum coming off being disrespected in the Olympics. Jaylen Brown being snubbed and disrespected all summer long. Going to be pissed off. Brunson wasn't on the Olympic team. I bet he thinks he deserved to be there over Tyrese Halliburton.
Porzingis against his old boys,
we'll see he's healthy.
You don't even think he's ready?
It's about the Jays against Brunson, in my opinion.
How you going to disrespect Porzingis like that?
I don't think he's going to be healthy.
For opening night?
I don't, dude. It was.
He's healthy right now.
He's 7 foot. He didn't play for his national team. That's how healthy he is right now.
Yeah,
it's October. It's all, dude. We're in the middle of August.
Right.
The NBA tips in October.
God, poor.
He's 7'3" and does a lot at both ends of the floor. That's a lot of athleticism there.
He may not want to play that night.
But I would want. I don't think he does.
Them Knicks.
Save him. Don't have him roll up until December.
Fair.
That's when it matters.
Fair.
I would like to see Bucks 76ers, or I would like to see Wemby opening night. Maybe the next night. Give me the Bucks.
Yeah.
Give me Giannis and Dame, and then give me Wemby the next night too.
Do you believe in the Bucks?
Yeah, like Doc didn't have his staff. You know how hard that is? It's insane what they did to fire a coach who was the first place team in the East and all that.
Right.
But like Doc doesn't have his staff. He has to learn that. He has to learn how to coach Giannis and to improve him.
Yeah.
Dame is Dame. I don't know. Defensively, they just weren't the same team.
So you believe in them to a certain extent. You feel like they'll be better, but it doesn't sound like you believe in them to come out of the East for sure.
I think it's Celtics or Knicks coming out of the East.
Fair enough. No love for the Sixers?
I do have love for them. They have to go with, Joel, you're going to play 50 games. That's it.
Okay.
We do not care because you can barely get to 70 or 75. And if we make a run through the playoffs, that's going to require you to play around 80 games.
Yeah.
You're going to play 50. We don't care about MVP. We don't care about All-Pro, All-NBA. You've done all that. You got paid. It's about getting a ring. We got Paul George, who's healthy now. I think the Sixers can do it. I just won't believe it until I see it because Maxey, Paul George, Joel Embiid. You could say that's the best big three in basketball. I won't because Embiid isn't healthy.
Right.
But when healthy, you could say that's the best big three.
That's fair. I don't know how much I believe in them. I think I'm with you in that assessment. The Bucks, I'm not really believing in either because they feel like two horses to me. I don't think they're deep enough. I think some of these other teams are being slept on. I believe in the Pacers. I believe what I saw last year. I think the Pacers could go on another deep run. It wouldn't shock me at all.
Tyrese Halliburton, I don't believe in him. You need a guy
that
can play smart.
He's got help.
And make decisions.
He's not by himself. I mean, Siakam, Nembhard, they have a really good team, well coached. I like the Magic. I think
I like the KCP edition of the Magic.
Me too. They had a great offseason. I think the East is just a lot better, quite frankly. And any of these teams, who knows? I mean, you get in the postseason. If Porzingis is banged up again, you just never know. Now, I hear he's back in December, Porzingis, so he definitely won't be ready for opening night. But it's like you said, if he's back in December, that's what you want anyways.
Hey, I'm just going to say, I know our producer Ante is helping us out, saying when Porzingis will be back. Who said just save him for December?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
And you know what?
Smart.
You bring him in December and you go, hey, let's wait till January.
Smart.
You know what, Kristaps?
Just keep pushing him back. He's got to play at some point.
February.
He's got to be in shape,
You need to get one more ring before the second apron, the new CBA kicks in.
New owner.
And there's parity in the NBA. You need to get one more ring for the Jays, for his legacy, make it a dynasty.
Is a year.
They got to get 3 within a 5-year window.
Yeah.
With these guys both on Supermaxes now and dudes starting to get paid.
Facts.
Kristaps. Wait till February. Speaking of the Jays, we got an email. Remember, you can email us, thechat@nesson.com. To ask the chat, reminder, email us, thechat@nesson.com. This is from our guy, Jake. Yo, guys. What's up, Jake? Do you think how the Olympics went for the Celtics players, Tatum barely playing, Jalen getting left out, not too much to complain about if you're Derek or Drew. That's true, Jake. Light a fire that will lead to a Celtics dynasty run similar to last decade's Warriors. Okay. A dynasty run like that, I'm confident to say it lights a fire for Jaylen Brown especially. Because that's a guy that got the Supermax, was clowned all off season long, and came back to be a better player than he was the season before. The rare time someone gets paid, and the rare time someone gets paid the highest in their sport and comes back a better player. As a defender, he was their #1 guy all season long, all throughout the playoffs. As a scorer and as a just two-way player, he was their best guy consistently throughout the playoffs. Playmaker, shooter, defender, did it all.
Was going left, too. Remember everyone said he couldn't
Cleaned
go
it
left?
Up,
he was
man.
going left.
And you know what? He had that dog in him.
Yeah, he did.
He found it to be a mother effer that he needed to be.
Yeah, he did.
He was the guy. Big buckets, big moments. To be the leader, he was their guy on the floor. I think everything that happened with the Olympics, I mean, get ready. When he's matching up with LeBron, when he's matching up with the Clippers.
Yeah.
Of course, when he's facing guys like the Pacers, like Tyrese Halliburton's on the roster and I'm not.
Right.
Every time there's someone that was on the Olympic roster on the opponent Jaylen Brown's playing, he is going to go off that night. And he's going to want to defend them, no matter who it is. It could be Anthony Davis. He'll be like, let me pick him up. So that's what it's going to be. I think for Tatum, my concern is his confidence. I mean, he wasn't shooting the ball well. And what we saw against Serbia, same thing we saw in the gold medal game, what we saw throughout the Olympic Games was they needed shooting. That's why Devin Booker got those minutes. Unsung MVP of that team. But I think with Tatum, man, I hope. If anything, one thing I said to you here on chat, I was worried about Tatum of how long is this victory lap? You know, how much do you celebrate? Like, it's huge, man. You won the NBA Finals. But when do you lock it back in? And do what you have to do to make another run? This Olympic thing is good for Jason Tatum because it humbled him very quickly where he goes, all right, I got to work hard. I got to prove the doubters wrong again.
Yeah. I don't think it was so much Tatum, you know, needing to be humbled, though. I think Steve Kerr's a moron. That's just me.
But him being a moron humbled Jason Tatum.
For sure. In fact, looking at this this email from Jake now, the thing that jumps out to me in this, because I think you're right with the Jaylen Brown assessment and even the Jason Tatum assessment. But the thing that jumps out is, you know, will this light a fire that will lead to a Celtics dynasty run similar to last decade's Warriors?
Four rings in 7 years.
That's speaking to me because during that Warriors dynasty, they had three guys that would rip the heart right out of your chest. Clay would bury you in the clutch. I mean, we don't even need to talk about Steph, do we? And then Draymond was a psycho. So, sure, he's not maybe hitting the shots that the Splash Bros are, but he's affecting the game in other ways. In fact, they lost the championship because Draymond got suspended, if you ask me.
Yes.
So you had three, really, let's call them what they are, closers. You had three closers on that team. On this current team, it feels like Jaylen Brown's a closer, certified. Drew Holiday's a closer, certified.
Tatum can do it. Game 6 against
That's not the conversation. It's not can. It's not potential. I'm talking about certified, walk in, show me your credentials. You're a closer, you're a closer, you're a closer. Jaylen Brown, check.
Yeah.
Drew Holiday, two-time champ. Check.
Yeah.
Derek White's a role player.
He can hit big shots.
He can hit big shots.
He makes
I'm not going to give him certified closer, and I'm not giving Jason Tatum certified closer yet.
He dropped 40-plus Game 6 elimination game in Milwaukee before they made it to the finals. Game 6 2 years ago against the 76ers. Shot was trash the whole game long. Last 5 minutes woke up and rescued them and stole that game. Game 7, did he drop 50 in that Game 7?
You think he's a closer?
Yeah.
I don't know.
But it's him being smart enough to get away from that BS sidestep three. And it's the Celtics being smart enough to get away from that ball gets stagnant late in the games. Where it's a lot of standing around. It's a lot of relying on the Jays. You know what was great about this Olympic run? What they did in Serbia? I said it. It was these superstars. The biggest. You had 4 MVPs playing off of one another in that game.
Yeah.
Steph Curry coming off a Joel Embiid screen, hitting a 3. Kevin Durant bringing the ball up floor, deferring to LeBron James because he didn't have his shot. Right. You had them. It was team ball. Yeah, it was no drawn up plays and just go get a bucket, but it was still team ball of them being. They weren't hesitant to give the ball up. They knew it would come back around. It would end in a bucket. That's what the Celtics need to do. That's the one thing with Jason Tatum that does worry me. Is that BS sidestep 3.
Listen, that Warrior dynasty, those were 3 certified guys you didn't even question.
And then they dropped in the best scorer of all time, KD.
Of course. But you look at the Celtics team, and it's one guy who I just feel like just earned his closer stripes in Jaylen Brown.
Yes.
Drew Holiday, I'll take. And then I still have questions about Jason Tatum in that role. So, you know, I don't know if they can replicate that, is what I'm saying. Can they get another ring this year? You and I both agree this is the time now. You got to go repeat here. And I hate to say, I think that might be it from this group.
So to be a dynasty, to me, is like 3 rings in the next 7 years, let's say. Maybe that's even extending it a little. If that core is there. It's also, too, and the reason this new CBA is coming along and that second apron's real, this stuff is real, Jake, is because of teams like the Warriors, like what the Clippers were trying to build, what the Celtics did.
That's right.
That I don't think we'll see dynasties like that because the second apron's real. We will. It'll take a while for teams to figure it out because you can't pay everyone.
That's right.
Anymore.
And remember, they lost the finals to Steph. That hurt them too because that could have been one they had. You know, a feather in the cap.
up on the Warriors in that series. And Steph, they close it out in 6. All right, that's Boston has entered the chat. Appreciate the email reminder. thechat@nesson.com. Send us an email. Call in 617-790-0928 to leave a voicemail. He's Travis Thomas. I'm George Bilecki. This was Boston has entered the chat from the PNC Bank studio. We'll see you guys same time, same place next time.